All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all being patient. I
I
apologize for the
apologize for the
technical
technical
difficulties. I
difficulties.
was
I
not
was not
expecting all of
expecting all
this.
of this.
It
It
seems to be
seems
on
to be
my
on
end,
my end,
but we got it
but we
squared
got it
away.
squared away.
Obviously, we have
Obviously, we
Mr.
have Mr.
Christian from
Christian from
Argos
Argos
Fragrances,
Fragrances,
who was
who was
very
very
patient as
patient as
well, and I
well, and I
appreciate that.
appreciate that.
No problem.
So,
So,
this is
this is
actually a
actually
very
a very
joyous
joyous
occasion. I'm
occasion. I'm
very
very
excited.
excited.
Today, we're going to
Today,
be
we're going to be
talking
talking
about
about
Love
Love
Triumphs Over
Triumphs
War,
Over War,
which I have not touched
which I
yet,
have not touched yet,
Oh,
as
you
well
didn't
as
touch
Birth
it,
of
huh?
as well as
Venus.
Birth of Venus.
No,
No,
I want to hear it
I
from the
want to
man
hear
and
it from the
smell
man and
alone.
smell along.
Well, you were smart. It looks like you took the overwrapping off.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thought I
Well,
was avoiding
I
a
was
nightmare for the
avoiding a
stream,
nightmare for the stream,
Yeah.
and I had a different
and I had a
nightmare.
different
Well,
nightmare.
you saved yourself 5 minutes off the 30
Yeah.
minutes it took us
Yeah.
to get it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
It's good. When's the
So,
last time we did
so-
this? It was about a year ago. We talked about, I think,
I
Adonis
think
Awakens.
I
Danye.
think Danye.
I think it was for
Danye.
It was for
Danye.
Danye.
So then it's been over a year.
It's been a
It's been a
while.
while.
Yeah.
So, if
So,
you don't
if
mind,
you
for
don't mind,
those that aren't familiar with Argos, you mind giving a
mind
little
giving
bit of information about the brand and yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, I can talk a lot. So I'm going to do the Clip Notes version.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
My name's Christian Petrovich, CEO, founder, perfumer for Argos Fragrances. Really got into the fragrance manufacturing side and the perfume side. 2014, launched the Pour Homme and the Pour Femme, the introductory two fragrances in 2017. Italian line came out, Triumph of Bacchus, which probably everybody knows. Provida della Caccia, Baccio Immortale, the one that you love. That was kind of the Italian line, playing on my heritage, Italian and Russian. And then I launched the Artist series. And that one really takes Greek mythology, and then it takes famous artists in history who've been inspired by Greek and Roman mythology to create great works of art. And that's actually, brought another level of complexity and story into the fragrances. So now I'm melding those together, the Greek mythology story, why the artist painted what they painted based on that, and then putting that into a fragrance to actually immerse you into that story. So yeah, that's where we're at now with the Artist series. We also have the new 12 Labors of Hercules series that launched last year with Nemean Lion. I know we're not going to talk about that too much today because it's out of stock. Again, sold out in less than a day. I'm working on getting more of that one. We have the new TOB Extrait that just launched. We've got Love Triumphs Over War, which is the first of the Peter Paul Rubens series. And then we've got the first one from the Botticelli series, which is Birth of Venus. And those are the two that you have there in front of you today. So that's kind of the backstory, a little bit more on me. Modeling, acting, I've been in the modeling and acting industry for over almost 25 years now. I also do a lot of real estate. I've got rental properties here in Dallas, Texas, Missouri, Kansas, and now I'm overseas too. So now I have an office in France. I've got one in Nice and one in Mougins, right outside of Grasse, and then I've got a new one that's going to be going up next year in Istanbul, in Büyükşehir, which is about 30 minutes outside of Istanbul. So merhaba to anybody who's Turkish that's watching. I need to learn Turkish, so I'm working on that. So yeah, a lot of exciting things. Next year I plan on spending at least 6 months out of the year overseas, and then coming back again in the fall, right around September, to do another launch. So that was a mouthful.
Very
Very
busy.
busy.
So, yeah, I see your comments, guys. I can't get rid of the echo for some reason. I've been trying.
You still got an echo, or does everybody else have an echo?
Apparently, they can hear my echo. That
I
I hear.
hear it. You sound fine to me.
Yeah, it's very strange. I
I
actually had to switch
switch
browsers, guys. It's weird. Do
Do
y'all
y'all
still
still
hear
hear
an
an
echo?
echo?
Somebody let me know. Move on. My favorite house. My wife is Turkish. Fun fact. Okay,
Oh wow.
good to know.
Good to know.
So, while we're at it, if you don't mind, the one I'm most interested in hearing about, honestly, is Love Triumphs Over War. You mind telling us a little bit of the story and inspiration for the scent profile and packaging?
Yeah, for the Love Triumphs of War, this was going to be a fragrance based on Ares, god of war. It was a very deep, resinous fragrance, but I was working on it, added some floral notes in there, some brighter notes, and it actually subdued those darker notes, and it really played into the story with Peter Paul Rubens. And the painting that he actually painted, which you see on the box, on the outer artwork box, is called Return from War, and that was based, the reason why he did that painting was, at the time, it was just at the end of the 12-year war between Spain and England, and this was a gift that he had painted for King Charles. So it was to commemorate the end of the war, and in this painting, he's got Ares coming back from war, and you see Aphrodite or Venus leaning in, kind of taking off his helmet, and then you've got Cupid and a couple cherubs kind of disarming and taking away some of his armament. But in the background of Vulcan's Forge there, you see they're still tinkering away, and they're still making more bullets and more ammunitions and things like that. And really what it was to symbolize not only the end of the war, but the fragility of it during the time that anything could spark and reignite another war. So that was the story for this fragrance. It was the subduing of the god of war, which this fragrance really does. With, when you look at the ingredients in the base and what you actually get, it really is subdued. It's a powerful fragrance, but it's beautifully put together, macerated. It's powdery. It's got a little bit of a French vibe to it, and it's almost old world with a new modern twist.
So here you
see the note
breakdown
bottom.
Let's take a look at
Take a
this
look at this
bottle.
bottle.
This is the one I'm wearing the most now. And now that, we just had some rain here in Dallas, Texas, we just went from the hundreds down to the 80s and 90s. So now it's perfect weather. I can wear my suits. I can wear my fragrances again.
Look at the
Look at the
artwork.
artwork.
Yeah, so that's, for those of you who are not familiar, that's not a sticker. It's an actual 3D plate. Just like the artwork on the box, remastered. And then we put it into an STL file 3D. We stamp the plates out, and then they're hand painted with a needle. That's how we put the colors in, and then it's baked in a kiln to cure.
Impressive stuff. And then you have the glass stops as well as the micro atomizers.
Yep, this one has the matte gold full solid cap, so it is very weighty. It does have the crystal in the eye on the cap. 2 crystals on the border on the front. And it does have the micro atomizer, the pressure sensitive atomizer.
Just focus.
Ooh,
There's
there's
something a little
funky
funky
and resinous here.
Yeah. It's different. It's different than anything else I've put out.
That's the clove that's giving me kind of that funkiness. It's gotta be.
There's some clove and there's some cinnamon there.
Bergamot, lemon, rose, black currant, orange, tuberose, and raspberry. Very fruity top.
Yeah, with the rose kind of giving it that powderiness, and the tuberose.
Such a beautiful.
It's delicate. It's powerful. It's very sophisticated. This fragrance. This is something that I wear dressed up, like with what I'm wearing today.
Wow. Okay. Very watery citrus, and the rose is rich. You get a lot of the rose. It's kind of like it's dancing with the clove, because I get that dark kind of essence of the clove. It's not too spicy, but it's kind of earthy.
Yeah, but it doesn't go too old world. It doesn't go too French on that one. You don't get the dustiness. You get the powderiness, but you don't get the dusty old book, old library vibe.
So I get a lot of florals, but it doesn't come across feminine at all.
No, this one actually leans masculine.
Yeah, very much. See, this is something that I think you can pull off in the high heat, depending on the setting. If you're going to be outside the whole time, maybe not.
Yeah,
but
if it's
in and
like
out.
10 degrees and you're in Texas and you're just sweating like a...
Yeah.
Probably not. This is going to be something for the cooler evenings in the summertime. Definitely spring, summer.
Absolutely.
Definitely summer is situational, but spring and fall, definitely. Winter, definitely. You're fine with this one.
This does have an elegance to it.
Yeah, this
It's
is
very
total
classy.
class, total sophistication with this one. This is not one you're going to wear to the gym.
No. It wouldn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the elevation of the artwork really helps to tell the story
Mm-hmm.
when you sniff along with the scent profile.
And I'm going to get a new spray. Actually, I sprayed this yesterday. I don't even need another spray.
What's the oil concentration?
This one's 30.
30. Wow, it's pure parfum.
We listed at EDP. There's a range in there. Now, like the Extrait for the Triumph of Bacchus, that's at 40. Oh, yeah. The dry down's amazing. Longevity, you get this on your clothes or something, you're going to smell it the next several days.
So with this, I do get a bit of powder.
Yeah.
But it's not excessive.
No.
Like I wouldn't call it a powder bomb, like the Fantasy Iris Note.
Yeah, Iris can give you that powderiness. The thing is, for me particularly, I don't like the old world powdery vibe where you get like the old library, the dusty book, the grandmother type. This one is a more modern take on French perfumery with this one.
It has a resinous feel without any resins listed.
Well, you do get the cashmere wood, you get the sandalwood. Those are pretty much some of my signature ingredients that I use quite extensively. Sure. The powderiness, it's not like any other powderiness that you would think of. I almost hate to say it, but it's so prominent. It's not like if you hate powdery perfumes or if you prefer not to wear powdery perfumes that you wouldn't like this. I would still encourage you to try this one.
Because it still has a spice to it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the clove and the cinnamon is still in there, but they're just so subdued.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think and I always relate back because the Mysore sandalwood is so prominent in that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I smell Danye
yeah.
in the DNA of everything now. Sense. You know?
Yeah, I use a lot of raspberry. I use a lot of cashmere wood. I use a ton of sandalwood.
Yeah, this Mysore sandalwood really stands out.
It's almost buttery, and it really helps smooth this one out and really bring the top and the middle in with the base smoothly.
This is impressive. This is better than Bacchus. To me.
Yeah, I believe so too. It's an evolution for me too. And I tell people that I come across who've known me for a while, my nose has definitely changed. My wheelhouse, my ingredients, the things that I have definitely changed a lot now that I'm traveling more. And I tell people, yes, I work with Givaudan, I work with Feminiche, I work with Simrise, I work with a lot of the manufacturers for these oils, but now I have got some new ones that I'm really excited to work with as well for my ingredients.
I have to say this is impressive. I don't know if I'm ready to crown it over Adonis Awakens and Triumph of Bacchus.
It's a
but it's
different
damn
vibe.
close.
It's a different vibe. This is more. I mean, for me, Nemean Lion is regal, powerful. It is a beast. Triumph of Bacchus is that fun party, jovial scent. Adonis Awakens, you got the double rose, but the raspberry and almost effervescent vibe from that one. They're all so different and so unique. This one, for me, this one is class. This one is pure sophistication right here. This one, if you want to be, turn your nose up a little bit and wear the right outfit, then spray this. And you don't even have to say anything. People just that's money right there.
It's funny to say that because the reason I brought up Bacchus is that's my scent of choice for very special occasions, weddings and such.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where I say I think this is better suited for what I use Bacchus for.
It can be. I think Bacchus is a little more fun, a little more relaxed. It does have the leather, but that raspberry is a little sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one's a little bit more approachable. This one's going to turn heads, but it's going to give a certain vibe.
This has a presence, a different presence than the other offerings. I would say I kind of look at the way this presents itself kind of like Bravita Delicata, where there's that just assertiveness to it. It's kind of makes a powerful statement as you walk up. That's the kind of scent profile I get here.
But with this one, I think it's even more sophisticated.
I think that's fair. I think that's very fair because you don't have all that earthy green tones and the heavy leather. This is that slight powdery floral feel, very grounded with the woods. This is gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is absolutely gorgeous. And guys, I promise you, I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying this because he's right here. I have no problem telling him if I didn't like something. So I don't want anybody to think anything other than this is genuinely lovely to sniff on.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this one puts a
Absolutely.
smile on my face when I smell it, and I this is the one I'm wearing, and I'm looking forward to continue wearing the most this fall. And then when it gets a little cooler, and I'm in the right situation, the Nemean line, pull that one out. Got the TOB Extrait. You cannot go wrong with that.
And I can't wait.
Man,
It's like being teased.
I love all my fragrances. They're all my babies, and they're just so different from one another. But when you look at the notes and the ingredients, it's like surprisingly how much of the DNA that they have from one another. They're definitely a family, but they're also different.
I agree. It makes for a true collection.
Mm-hmm.
And with that said, let's talk about another new addition. Let's talk about Birth of Venus.
Okay.
Tell
So
me a
Birth
little
of
bit.
Venus. So that was the first one for Peter Paul Rubens, and I wanted to have another new artist as well, Botticelli, and I wanted to get to Botticelli sooner than later. And this one, Birth of Venus, fits the story to the T. I don't know. I don't really make fragrances for like Zeus or Poseidon or a particular god or deity. It's really story. It's really situational. And when I'm focused on Botticelli, how could you not focus on Birth of Venus? It's one of his greatest masterpieces. And this one was such an easy one for me to make compared to some of the others. Some of the others were created in roundabout ways or accidents or me trying different things. This one was really straightforward. I knew what I wanted to do and accomplish with this one. And really the art guided me. So the story, I'm not going to go into the full mythology of how she was created, but it's pretty gruesome. But she is birthed from the sea. She comes up from the sea foam. You can see in the photo, she's on that shell. You have Zephyr, the god of the wind, blowing in, and she's getting blown off to the side. And I believe that's Flora, the goddess of the flowers and the spring, who's about to robe her on the island of Cyprus. So, I was just looking at this painting, and what was it saying to me? It was saying, okay, something salty, some sea salt, maybe aquatic. I was thinking, I saw orange blossoms, I was seeing rose, and there was florist, and there was zephyr, and there was all these things that were fragrances and fragrance notes that were speaking to me. And I don't know if you're still there, Ross, because your camera just went away.
Yeah, my apologies.
Okay, so you can still hear me. Okay.
Accident, yeah.
That's all right. So this one for me, almost the story and the painting guided me so well. It wasn't like I created a fragrance and then I had to think what kind of story would fit this. This one actually guided me very well into creating this fragrance. I wanted something that was sweet, and she is the sweet. I was able to use raspberry in this. I was able to use rose in this. I was able to use orange blossom in this. I was even able to put chocolate in here. I wanted to use chocolate for so long. There's a lot of notes that I in the back of my mind, like, I can't wait to get to coffee. I can't wait to get to chocolate. I can't wait to get to some of these things. And this one was a fun one for me to create based on the artwork from Botticelli. And the artwork was so fun to make too. Again, everything's remastered. Even Botticelli's work on the outer box, there's little things in there that are different from the original to kind of foreshadow and allude to new things coming. And then this artwork plate was something fun to make. And it was really hard for me to get that matte gold shell to look like it does on that plate. I didn't want it to be too shiny. And people who know me know that I'm really a stickler for the details.
Very
Ridiculous.
Sometimes it drives me mad, because for the longest time I couldn't get that shell that she's standing on just right, and getting her the right size, and making sure I was covering up enough parts, because in the original she's fully unclothed. So we had to move some of the hair around. But yeah, this is a sweet, sexy fragrance. It's almost playful, but it's delicious. It's delectable. It is. This one leans feminine, whereas, the Love Triumphs of a War might be a 60-40. This one might be a 65-40 45 in the other direction, feminine. I still wear it. This is something that is, as a man, you have to be confident to wear, yes. I would say if you're familiar with the line, Pallas Athene is a little more feminine than this one. This one's a little bit leaning more masculine than that one. But it's more of a sexy, delectable, delicious, mouth-watering fragrance.
Well, Pallas Athene is my wife's favorite. So
Okay.
she's going to love it. Ooh. Fresh and fruity. It caught me.
Mm-hmm. You don't need a lot of sprays.
I don't think it's all that feminine.
Yeah, and everybody's nose is a little different on what you pick up on.
So obviously there's a nice fresh floral tone to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a fruitiness.
Well, it's got the raspberry. We've got the peach in here. We've got the bergamot. So you got that brightness with the fruitiness, but it's not fruity floral like Pallas Athene was.
Not the same.
No. That one, the whole personification of Aphrodite, that powerful, commanding presence of her, with that masculinity, because she's never really, you don't see Athena in a very feminine way. That's like a boss bee fragrance right there. This one is more sexy. This one's more playful. This one's more seductive. This one's juicy. This one has the chocolate, the rose, the peach, the raspberry. It's and the sea salt. I mean, it was a perfect combination when I put that in there. It was almost mouth-watering for me to make this one.
It's I'm trying to find the right words because my wife's going to love this first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find it's all that feminine. I really don't. It's very fresh. It's mouth-watering. It's literally making my mouth water.
Yeah, this might be something that, you might find 55-45 or almost 50-50. Everybody's a little different. It's so close. It's so close to that unisex line that, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm switching over trying to see if something happened here. I apologize for the echo, guys. I see this coming nonsense. I don't know why.
It's probably a different browser, different situation. I'm not getting any of the echoing.
Yeah, I apologize to be interrupting in the middle like this, guys. I promise I've never had this experience before. It's very unfortunate because of the occasion. And I apologize that the echo happens every time you speak.
Does the echo happen when I speak, or when you speak, or both?
It's just me.
Okay, well then I can talk.
I don't know.
I can talk. So yeah, that's the backstory of Versa Venus. I mean, look at the color, and I don't dye any of these colors or put anything artificial in there to make the color change, but it was amazing how it turned that color that it did. It almost matched her strawberry blonde hair.
Just stunning. That's the best part of the presentation now. Because when you look at previous bottles to now, you can see the constant evolution. Just in this light alone.
I can't wait for some of the new things that I'm working on, even new bottles these are new bottles, by the way. These ones just came in about 2.5 weeks ago. So even these bottles, even though they're the same shape, there's a different technique that was used in making this glass. It's stronger. It's more clear. The clarity is more clear. So it's a new hand polishing technique that they're using. That's nothing that you guys probably will notice right away. But when you get the new bottles, if you hold it up to another one, you might notice the clarity is a little bit clearer.
I don't have any of the other ones handy.
Yeah. But yeah, you'd have to hold it up to the other ones. And in the future, we're working with some different electroplating techniques, some frosting techniques. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm working on right now that's going to come out next year and the year after that. So we're working on different plates, different materials, some shells, just it's amazing some of the stuff that I've got that I just haven't released yet. I just got to get things going in Turkey and get that manufacturing set up there so I can get more things made over there and shipped here instead of having to do so much of the heavy work here. The fragrance is always going to be made in France, but the labor and the assembly and everything is so labor intensive and it takes so long. I need more space, and I love being in Istanbul and getting a big manufacturing warehouse there with some automatic machinery to take off some of that load, because we do everything by hand. Even the overwrapping is done by hand, which takes forever.
So speaking of, would you like to discuss the upcoming releases and the selling out of Nemean?
Yeah, so we got Nemean line was the restock from last year, sold out right away. I'm trying right now to get it back before mid-October. And I know some people missed it and they were upset, and some people were on that first initial one that sold out. What I suggest to you is go to the website. If there's ever a product that's out of stock, there'll be a little area underneath it that you can enter your email, and it'll give you an automatic email once the stock goes from 0 to 1 or 100, whatever it is. When it goes from out of stock to in stock, you're going to get a notification automatically. Don't try to go to the Argos Fragrances Connoisseur page and have the admins try to message you personally, or message me on Instagram or anywhere else and get a personal reminder. We just can't keep up with it all. We literally get at least 5 a day questions. When is Nemean Lion or when is TOB Extrait coming back in stock? The best way to do it, go to the website, enter your email, and get that automatic notification. We're still going to keep doing the newsletters. That's an email thing, by the way, so you can sign up and subscribe for that. So for new launches, that's great, because we do images and full breakdown and kind of give the introduction and some of the story behind each of the fragrances, and then also a release date. So we're solid on the Fall of Phaeton release. October 1st will be the release for Fall of Phaeton. We're filling bottles now, which, I was really sweating it just to make that September 1st for Love Triumphs Over War and Birth of Venus because of the bottles. I was racing back from Istanbul trying to get here for that 40-foot cargo container, and I made it thinking that, it's going to be cutting it close, but then it got held up in customs for a couple weeks. And then I was really sweating it trying to get those bottles filled and everything packaged, because it takes a while. Once these are filled, we don't just fill them, crimp them, and put them in the box. We already have the fragrance macerating for 6 months before we even put it in there. I already had that done in France when I first left this summer. That was already here. We were waiting on the bottles and the plates. So when we put the plates on, they don't just stick on there. We got to glue them. The crystals, we got to glue those too. So that means that everything has to be laid out for several days before we can put those things in a box and send those out and overwrap them. So there's a lot of process that goes into this. So back again, Nemean Lion, October, sign up for the automatic notifications. And the TOB Extrait. A lot of people have been asking, what's the difference between the TOB Extrait and the regular TOB, the Triumph of Bacchus?
I'm curious.
Nothing. I never wanted to make it a different fragrance. To me, it's perfect. And for a lot of people, it's perfect. So what are you going to do to it? Are you going to make it Triumph of Bacchus Sport? No, the whole intention was to just elevate it. And the only way that you can elevate a fragrance that's already perfect is to make it stronger, more powerful. Yes, are you going to pick up some of the notes a little bit stronger in a higher concentration? Yes. You're going to get 40% oil. That's almost half, guys. When you spray that, it's going to last. It's elevated and it's more powerful. I'm going to leave it at that. The more I say, the less people understand. 40% elevated, stronger. This is for the people that love TOB and they just can't get enough of it and they want to get their fix. This is what it's for. I updated the artwork on there, so some of you have seen it. So people have been posting about it. Now the plaque has that white enameling. The original is the gold and silver. Now it's gold, the matte gold. It's got rubies in the top two designs, and then we've got a white background, and we've got the grapes are now purple. So we're playing with some new techniques with the enameling and the plate artwork. So that's kind of cool. It's the only one that's like it. It gives me a chance to get more details in the actual characters on the plates. So there's an evolution there too, not just the fragrance, but an evolution in the design and the artwork that goes into these. And that'll always change.
Impressive.
It'll always change, and it'll always evolve.
TLTG.
Yeah, stronger, more powerful TOB.
It was already crazy strong.
Yeah, so for some people it's already strong enough, so that's fine. This is, like I said, this is for the people who've, either you've never experienced TOB and you want that creme de la creme, the best, and then for the people that have already had TOB and they just can't get enough of it. That's who it's for. This is not going to be. It's not going to be something that I'm going to make as many batches or as much of. It's a lot more expensive, as you can imagine. The more oils that go into it. The alcohol is not the expensive part. It's the oils that are the expensive part. So yes, it costs me more money to make. The next one, October 1st release, I'll talk about Fall of Phaeton. That's going to be number 2 for the Rubens series. For me, this one, since I started the series for Rubens, I wanted to keep it going. I wanted to keep that momentum going. I didn't want to release it at the same time. 2 fragrances is enough for people to try to digest and get and learn about and collect. I needed to space that out. Plus, as you'll find with this fragrance, just like in the painting, it's a darker fragrance. This is a heavier fragrance that's meant for the fall, winter, and maybe spring, definitely cooler nights. This one is spicier, it's smokier, it's more resinous, it's darker. This one, it's just like the story Fall of Phaeton. It's the story of the son of Helios or Apollo, and ultimately he's stricken down by a lightning bolt from Zeus because he's going crazy with the chariot that's carrying the sun around the earth. He goes too high and the earth freezes, goes too low, and everything burns. This is a post-apocalyptic story. It's cool for me because I love those types of stories. This actually crosses over into Egyptology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology. It has Solon in there, who's a great grandfather of, I want to say Homer. But there's a lot of stuff that's kind of written in history that relates back to this. Gustave Moreau did a painting on this one, which was really cool. Some of the things that he put in there that relate to, did this really happen? If you're familiar with the Younger Dryas period and the last ice age, and how people were thinking that man got wiped out and we had to restart again. If you really want to go down that rabbit hole with this one, check it out. See the reasoning why he painted this painting and the story behind Phaeton. And then for me personally, for this one, I wanted to create a fragrance based on this painting because it's an epic painting. If you ever see the box, and you will, and you see the story, I'd encourage you to go to the website because we actually bring the artwork to life. If you go to the fragrance menu, drop it down, go to Fall of Phaeton or any of the other fragrances, we actually take the box artwork and we try to bring it to life. Just like with the fragrances, we do that. So you'll actually see lightning, and you'll see him falling from the chariot, and you'll see fire coming from his hair. So just imagine how chaotic this scene is, and the smells, the horses are breathing fire. This is a spicier, more resinous, hot fragrance that's meant for the cooler weather. And then again, back to the story, not only do you get the Greek mythology, but you get Rubens' reasoning why he painted this. And you've got Phaeton falling almost eloquently. You've got the Horai, who are responsible for time, the months, the hours, trying to rein in the horses, and they're trying to almost protect Phaeton. And the story, if you read it anywhere else other than in Rubens' painting, you would interpret it as a hubris story. It's the overexuberance, it's the ignorance of youth, and that's what the whole story is about. But with his particular painting, it's almost like he's falling eloquently. It's almost like he's getting godlike stature from his death. And for me, I read a quote when I was creating this fragrance that kind of put this made it more interesting to me in my story and my journey with fragrances. Even though he greatly failed, even more greatly so, he dared to do what he did. So it almost put a different twist. It's almost like, for me, getting into the fragrance realm as a fragrance perfumer, a creator, because I don't have a huge team that creates all these fragrances and the stories and the bottles and the packaging and everything. No, it's pretty much me, and I create things that I love and things that I want. I don't sit there and say I need to create this for this segment of the population just to sell fragrance. I create fragrances that I love and that I want to wear, and there's situations for me. And that just so happens that if I think I love it, it's that whole thing back to Gustav Klimt, that Nudus Veritas, when he's holding up in Pallas Athene's hand. If you try to please the world, you're never going to succeed, and you can't even please yourself. So why don't you just please yourself? And by doing so, you're going to release the best version of whatever you're doing, whatever you're creating. And by default, the world will love it. So, just do you can generalize this for a lot of things in your life. Just do what makes you happy. Put out the best that you can and what you enjoy and what you're satisfied with. And, everybody else, whether they don't like it or what they don't, they got to respect you for that.
It's a good way to look at things.
That's the
Positive affirmation.
Because otherwise you're going to just drive yourself crazy. And I've had stories where people didn't like stuff that I did or creations that I was making, and I use a lot of people here in Dallas, now over in Europe, as guinea pigs for new fragrances that I'm putting out. And if I listen to them, if I listen to half the people, I wouldn't be putting out what I put out. I'd be listening to other people. So I pretty much listen to myself when I create.
Go with your instincts.
So follow Phaeton. It's an end of world post-apocalyptic epic story. I encourage you guys, just like the other ones, read into the stories. They're really cool, and a lot of it is factual. It's based on what was happening in the world at the time with some of these paintings and some of these artists, and then the mythology. Again, this was stuff that was what people believed in at a certain time. I'm not saying I worship Zeus or I believe in that stuff now. I'm saying what's really neat is this is what people use to explain what was going on in the world in their times. And it's not like the MCU or DC or anything that's made up now, made for movie, made for retail. This was the stuff that people believed in at one time. So it almost gives it a little bit more depth there and reality there too.
Well, while we have it, I see we got a few questions. Do you mind taking some questions from the
Yeah,
audience?
go ahead. I can talk.
It's kind of helping in this case. So here's an interesting one. Where do I sign up for the automatic notifications?
Okay, it's only going to have. Okay, on the website at the bottom, you can always subscribe to the newsletter. Now, if a particular product goes out of stock, and I would suggest if you want to test this out right now, go to the website and go to Nemean Lion. Go to the shop page. You'll see it's out of stock. Underneath the listing, you'll see a little banner, and you can enter in your email there, and you'll receive automatic notifications. Yeah, that's the one surefire way to get notified as soon as the stock becomes available.
There you have it.
Yep.
Very, very cool concepts.
So follow
Phaeton
is not
is
available
not
yet.
yet.
It's not available yet. It's not sold out. I got to talk to my website manager to reword that. But it also says on the listing when the release date is, October 1st.
Okay. Let's see, we have a super chat from Maui, $10. So this is from earlier.
Okay.
Is there a site that tells you bottle sizes of fragrances on the market? Particular. So not relevant topic. I appreciate super chat. And we'll have to have a discussion offline about that. While I have Christian, want to gear everything towards Christian.
Well, we do have the 30 mLs and we do have the 100 mLs. We do have the sample pack. Sample pack has been updated. Those are 2 ml. It's 10 pack now because we just added Love Triumphs Over War and Birth of Venus. October 1st, we'll add the 11th, which will be Fall of Phaeton. TOB Extrait will not be a part of the sample pack. Nemean Lion will not be a part of the sample pack. Those ones we're working on bringing those separate. So you'll be able to have, at some point, you'll be able to buy samples of those separately. The reason they don't have samples out now is because I need every single drop of juice to put in a bottle so that people can get this. And why make a bunch of samples if it's going to sell out? So it's just supply and demand. It's business. But yes, as soon as I can secure enough product and we can establish a good flow, then I will make sure that we can have the samples available. And another note on Nemean Lion, I've got a note on the website. It's 21 and up. I haven't decided if I want to make that a restriction where you have to put in your age, but this is not for a beginner. This is not a newbie fragrance. If you're starting your journey and you're not into darker, resinous, more oody fragrances, save it for somebody else. Let them buy it. Go start with Pour Homme, Pour Femme, and work your way through the lineup. I know there's like a huge whatever it is for people to go towards Nemean Lion. But it is just like it says. It is a beast of a fragrance. I made that fragrance to be the beast. It's a ferocious lion that, you know, ravaged the Argos countryside, and Hercules was tasked to kill him as one of his 12 labors. Had an impenetrable hide. Nobody could kill it. Hercules shot arrows at it. They bounced off. The only thing he could do was wrestle it, choke it, and then eventually cut it open with one of its own claws. And then that's how he wore that hide around, to protect him and his other 11 labors. So, you know, this was a fragrance that I was tasked to make, a fragrance that smells somewhat like a lion, was a beast, that had all these things in that story. And, you know, that was part of the problem when I was sourcing the materials and I was getting that batch, that second batch, and the materials weren't right. It didn't tell the same story. And if it doesn't do that, I'm not going to put it out. So that was the reason for the long wait on that one. And now it's where I want it. It's back where it needs to be.
Clearly.
And I love it. I cannot wait to wear this one with a nice velvet tux. I mean, I already got my outfit. I might wear it for my September 29th launch party for Fall of Phaeton. So that's another thing. If you're in and around Dallas, if you're from Houston or anywhere around Dallas, even in the surrounding states, last launch party I had last year for Adonis Awakens, we had people flying in. But this one's going to be even bigger. So this one's going to be in Dallas, Texas, Friday, September 29th. This month, we'll do the Fall of Phaeton launch party. It's going to be at the Keith Johnson Art Gallery here in Dallas. There is no entry fee. It's RSVP only. We got 250 RSVP guests now. And that doesn't include their guests. So we're looking at least 400 or 500 people up right now. We're going to have a local artist that I'm working with. His name is Abel Garcia. Great artist. He does kind of some street art, and we're combining that with Argos. I'm going to post some pictures in the stories. We're going to be taking Danier, Pallas Athene from Gustav Klimt. We're going to have the one from Adonis Awakens with Waterhouse, and we're going to put an Argos spin on those. So kind of a collaboration, and these paintings, this mixed media paintings, will be available for auction during the event. We've got DJ, we've got an electronic violinist, we've even got a 5 or 6 piece orchestra set. A lot of stuff for this event, and the proceeds go to a local charity that supports and feeds seniors in the community. So a great event for a good cause, and it's, you know, if you've ever been to an Argos launch party, you're missing. If you haven't, you're missing out. If you have, you're going to be there because you know what they're like.
It sounds
like
something do it up right if you're going to go.
Oh yeah, yes.
You know,
Dressed
to the nines.
We got valet parking, step and repeat. We've got a videographer, photographer, some models. It's not going to be something that if you could make it, you should make it.
I wish I was honest.
When I first saw you post about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun night. And honestly, I don't know why we did it, because we're so stinking busy right now. But
I can imagine.
We know the owner of the charity, the Source of Hope in Dallas. It's a 501(c). We're real happy to work with them. They just got the 501(c) status this year, so congrats to them. They're doing a lot of great things. And it was a charity that's local, so it was something that, you know, we can see some immediate benefit from right away, instead of having it go to Haiti or some other places. Not saying that they don't need it, but it's just great to do something that's local when you're doing the event local.
So
Scott asks,
he said he's
new to Argos in general.
Is there
Any
anything
that
a little more masculine? That's an understatement.
Understatement.
And if so, what would be your recommendation?
I mean, for me, if you're new into the line, I would go in the order that I created them. It's always a safe one to start with the pour homme. Fresh, you got aquatic, but you've got the resinous woods, you got the sandalwood, you still got the bergamot and the lemon. You got a little bit of that. What's that?
A lot of bergamot.
Yeah. Scottish pine. That one has. I'm trying to remember. That one has the rum.
That one also has violet in it.
Violet, yep. So I would start there, and then if you're really, really into masculine, and that's your thing, and you like leather, I would go next to Brevita della Caccia. You can't go wrong with Triumph of Bacchus. I mean, it's got the tobacco, the saffron, the patchouli. It's going to be a fun scent that you just can't go wrong. And then when you buy a 30 ml, you get to choose a free sample. When you buy 100 ml, you get to choose 2 free samples. And then I always encourage people, just get the sample pack. Try them all out. There's going to be some of them in there that are speaking to you that'll be perfect. So, you know, just play it safe. If you haven't experienced any of the fragrances before or seen them in a boutique, just get the sample pack.
I completely agree.
Oh, I got to show you this too. This big box that's sitting in front of
I
us.
was going to ask.
This is going to be at the September 29th event. We're going to auction one of these off with the fragrances as well. Like I said, proceeds go to charity. This is crocodile skin. It's got that matte gold glass on here. This is the new display. We made just a few of these. I think we just got 100 of them. Some of our boutiques and our distribution partners are going to get these. This is going to house the ever-growing Argos fragrances collection. We had 8, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks ago, with Love Triumphs Over War, Birth of Venus, TLTG Extrait, Nemean Lion, Restock, we just shot up to 13, and then we've got the Fall of Phaeton coming October 1st. So this is the new display with the red velvet insert. We've got the nice step-ups here for the fragrances. We've actually got 12 cutouts. So underneath each one of these, I'm going to set these down just for a second so I can show you one of the levels. We actually have the cutouts so you can put the bottles in there. It'll hold them firmly. Or you can display them right here. So if you have this at home and you want to display it with, you know, your area, you got your room, your dressing room or whatever where you carry your, you put all your fragrances on display. You can also close this to keep the sunlight out, dust, animals, kids, whatever it is. But it's just a beautiful way to display it. We also, another cool feature for this one, if you have the 30 mLs, we've got a drawer right here. I don't know if you can actually see that or not.
I can see it.
Okay, so that's what these slots right here are actually for the 30 mLs, and this drawer pulls out, so you can put them in there. You can like lay them. Here's the Nemean Lion 30 ml, and you can actually lean that in there just like that and put those on display. Real nice.
See what we were talking about how meticulous he is. It's impressive.
So yeah, and then we're also working with we're trying out some gold flake technology here.
Wow.
This is the Pour Femme actually with the gold flakes in here. I'm testing it out, making sure the atomizer works well, because you know we have those micro atomization with the smaller droplets. I just want to make sure that works really good, doesn't get plugged up or stopped up. So like I tell everybody, the cool thing about Argos 2, and there's a lot of things, but one of them is it's not mass produced. So I can change things on the fly, I can change atomizers, I can upgrade things. If there's an issue or something that I find, I can change it. And it's really cool to see the evolution so fast for me. And that's what everybody's saying, like, how do you change everything so fast? It's because I don't make 10 million of these. They're small batches, and even the artwork and everything is done by hand. So if there's a better process or something that I think you're going to enjoy more, or it's going to elevate your experience even that much more, I'm going to do it. I reinvest a lot back into the company itself and the processes. You'll even see a difference in the packaging. So like, you know, that gold packaging that you got, I think you got gold packaging for the bottles, right?
Yes.
So that gift wrap is our new Argos
32.
Yeah, it's the new Argos branded gift wrapping. So that's gold foil with the logo in there, real cool. Just 2 different variations of gold. Plus you got the branded ribbon. So yeah, that's if you do the pay $10 or $7 if you want to give these as gifts. That's the same experience. It's not a PR thing that only you or Justin or any of the other. It's just exactly what they would get. And even if you don't, if you've experienced Argos and you've bought our fragrances before in the United States, you've gotten the gift wrap. It's a different gift wrap, but it is still branded, and we've upgraded that. We've upgraded the thank you cards. We've even got these new tester strips that we've been giving out with orders so that you can spray your samples that come with your fragrances. You might have even gotten a few of those.
I did.
Which are really nice, and we use a special paper for that. It's not like your normal card stock. It's made specifically for fragrances. So yeah, there's so many things that we're working on. We're working on the jewelry line. So on September 29th,
I saw the necklaces on IG.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to kind of try and display this the best I can. So I'm going to remove these. And this tray right here flips upside down and fits inside this display box. So you actually get an extra display shelf. So here's some of the jewelry, some of the pendants that I have. Some of these have diamonds, and some of them are solid, and some of them have hollow back. So yeah, we're going to bring
solid or plated?
No, these are solid. Everything's solid gold right here.
I was curious.
No, we don't do any plating. So, and they're all dated. So when they were created, I don't think you can see because of the shine, but we've got the Argos trademark name on there plus the date, and they got the 750 for the gold. So if you're familiar with jewelry, it should have a number, 750 for the gold.
Those are gorgeous. Your logo really offers itself well for the
Oh yes. And then like this one right here, we put the diamond into the eye. That's a big diamond right there. This is the one I wear the most. This one's solid. I had to cut it out because it was so stinking heavy that we cut the eye out, and it was actually a pretty cool effect.
That's beautiful.
And then some of these. This one's actually solid too. You see the back on that one, solid. And then we've got some at different price points. Like this one right here is a little less expensive because we rounded out the back. We rounded out the back a little bit on that one.
Lower gram.
And it's lighter too. Some people don't want the heavier pendant. So yeah, I'm excited about that. We've also got some of the men's accessories. We've got a men's long wallet that I created with crocodile. I don't know if you.
I remember.
I love crocodile. What's that? Yeah, so I had about 3 prototypes that I've been using over the past year and a half, and I finally got the last one. And then part of the reason going in Turkey too is I have my leather atelier and my jeweler are now in Turkey. So they're going to be, when I build this new facility, not only are we going to be fulfilling Argos, but we're going to be fulfilling for other brands too. And then the leather goods are going to be made there in-house. So if you have a different size phone, and we have the phone pocket, you just give us the dimensions and we can custom make that. Actually, I might have that wallet here. If you don't mind, I can grab that and show it to you.
By all means.
Oh,
I apologize. Guys.
Trust me, I'm not happy.
Oh, I found it. Okay. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. So this is what the luxury gift wrapping is. So this is that metallic Argos logos kind of in there. I don't know if you can see it.
Thick.
Oh yeah, it's thick. But this is what you get when you actually buy. A lot of people are giving Argos now as gifts. And then for this one right here, this is one of the samples for the Argos men's long wallet. So what's really cool about this one, I'll show you. I wanted something that I could put my passport, obviously my different monies and different currencies, my Turkish liras, my euros, my dollars, but something that I didn't actually have to whip my money out every time I wanted to grab my phone. So I created this wallet on the front here. And this is actually solid gold right here.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so this is really cool, and just like like a Cartier bangle or bracelet where you can unscrew it, we've got screws in the back, and you can actually take this off and transfer it to your next bag. You can turn it into a pendant, but this is solid gold, and we can use brass if we wanted, or bronze, but for mine it's got to be solid gold. Of course. And the cool thing too about this thing, it's got like a nice little pull, so you can actually pull your phone out. You don't have to dig too much for it.
That's convenient.
It's got a cool strap, and I want to show you how it actually sits on me. It doesn't sit like the little mini packs does right here in the chest. It actually kind of goes down to the side out of my way, so I can reach for it when I need it. And then this one, it has the Argos logo here with a magnetic flap. This will protect all your money from falling out. So when you open it, you don't have to worry about everything falling out. We're going to make this logo a little bit bigger. This is the second to last prototype. We've actually got one more in blue crocodile that we're making right now. It's a matte blue. It's really cool. So this one's magnetic. And once this pops up, you got your cards, and then you've got a zipper And then you've got 2 more slots for your different currencies so that you can keep your dollars, euros, and liras separate if you're traveling like me. And then over here, you can put your driver's license or your personal business card with your Swiss Pamp gold carrot bar in there, if you have one. And then there's another secret pouch back here as well. Big enough to put your passport in there if you want to. And then I'll show you right here how this one
It's gorgeous.
how this one sits on the side here. And this one's kind of like, I don't know if you can see it on the screen or not, what color it is, but it's kind of like a grayish.
Got a gray color.
Yeah. So this one sits kind of like this on your side, which is perfect. We got it balanced just right, so it's not sitting up here. It's right here. So I can grab out my phone when I need it, and if I really want to get the money, I just unzip it right here. So
It's much more functional in that position.
yeah, it's almost like you forget about it too when you're moving around. It's not so much in your way, but it's easily accessible for your phone and everything else. So I use this one all the time when I was in Turkey this summer and when I was in France and Italy and whatnot. So that's the second to last. We got one more prototype in the blue that should be here anytime now, hopefully before the show. But if you come to the show, you'll see the whole evolution of that bag from when I first started, when I traveled to Vietnam and I had made a prototype, when I traveled to Italy and I made a prototype. It's really kind of cool because I hand drew the design and the concept, and I met with different people to make those prototypes, and it was just like, no, that one didn't work. No, that one wasn't good quality. And now I've got like the perfect leather atelier who, I can get these exotic. If you want this in, ostrich, we can do it in ostrich. We even have this, I don't know if it's a Swiss or it's a Shetland or what kind of, if it's yak or what, but we're going to make one of these and it's going to be really like fluffy. It's just going to be bizarre looking. Like you'll have it on your side, but it'll have that gold Argos logo just popping out of there because it'll be black, solid, poofy, and then the Argos solid gold logo.
So again, if you don't mind, we'll take two more questions.
Sure.
So we got them piling up on us here. So we asked, is TLB Extrait going to be in 30 ml?
Story behind that, yes. We already made the plates. So we will have the 30 ml eventually. The boxes ended up getting damaged in shipment. U.S. Customs decided to over-inspect me. They X-rayed it, which I thought was weird, and then they pulled it aside and did a full cavity search on the dang thing, which really shocked me. I don't know what they were looking for in there, but it delayed my shipment almost 2 weeks, and I thought maybe they just pulled the first couple of pallets, because these are all on pallets. They're wrapped really nice. Everything was nice, because I saw the pictures when they were loading it. And then when I opened the dang thing up, when it got here, all of the pallets were lined up along the side. They physically took everything out with forklifts, went through everything, stabbed them with, I don't know what they did, put their little fluorescent green sticker on them, U.S. Marshal or whatever their agency was, and then threw them back in the 40-foot cargo container. So those boxes did not pass the quality check. So I'm going to have to remake those, and unfortunately, I don't have time this year to do a small order. Anything that I do with the quality that I do, it's not something that I can go to a local, box manufacturer and get these done. No, these, it's not a normal paper. If you were to take a coin and scratch the surface on it, it's a metallic surface underneath there. It's expensive to make what I make, and there's minimum quantities that I have to purchase in order to get a run. And that just is not going to happen this close to the holidays. It'll happen next year. So, long story short, 2024 we'll have the TOB Extrait 30 ml.
There you go.
And a 30 ml might be 20 for someone.
Oh, it won't. If you love TOB, that 30 ml Extrait is not going to be enough, but it will be perfect to travel with.
That is true.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can find another good one. Let's see. Here's a good one. Well, Argos fragrances use other types of mythology for inspiration in the future.
I think somebody was asking me about that recently, and people don't know this about me too. I work with other brands too. A lot of times they make me sign an NDA, so I can't really discuss what my involvement is. But yeah, I have opportunities to work with other different styled fragrances, different themed fragrances. For me, my passion is art history, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, and I could do this till I die. There's so many stories and things and artists that I want to get into. For me, I'm going to add another level of complexity. Like I want to release a line based on the Greek mythology and the zodiac. You know, all these things, like even Argos Navis Gravis is a star constellation that was created in the stars to guide the Greeks and the Romans as in their boats. And then you've got the Leo from the lion. You've got Perseus's constellation. There's a lot of stuff that I can do with the constellations. There's certain things in history and places in history that I can focus on, like Troy. When I was in Turkey this summer, I went and visited the city of Troy. There's so much that I'm not ever probably in this lifetime going to be able to finish based on my Greek and Roman mythologies background now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I will, but you know, I mean, you got the 12 labors of Hercules, and we got all these things. I'm never going to get tired of Greek mythology and Roman mythology. It's just so fascinating to me. Me working with other brands and other themed fragrances is going to happen too, but it's just not something I can talk about.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Definitely answered the question, but
but
something I
something
wanted to add. I'm just sitting here sniffing on two of these. And Birth of Venus, I don't find is all that feminine. It's continuing to just beautiful and fresh.
As the longer you wear it, you'll notice the chocolate, and it'll get some of the base will come out, just like most fragrances do, and then it will actually become more 50-50. The sweetness will tone down a little bit, but it's the mouth water. It's so mouth watering.
Yeah, I can totally wear this.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely going to wear this tomorrow. Yeah. So anybody that likes Parfum or Palace Athene, I personally find this less feminine than those two.
Yeah, it is.
So I keep having cranks up for some reason as I'm talking. It's weird. There's some kind of something.
Well, give me another question, and I can go off on another talking tangent.
So let's see if we can find one more good one. Let's see. Bottom late chat. I'll watch the replay. I'm gonna find one more. Okay, here we go. Is there any chance the free version Argos fragrance available by the etc.?
I create what?
Oh, my volume.
Yeah. Wait.
Sorry. So will you create other extrait versions of other fragrances? For example, Bacchus or Motel?
No, I don't have a plan on doing that. TOB was really the only one, just because of how much people love that fragrance, and the other ones I like where they're sitting already. TOB, I love it where it was sitting, but the Extrait version, I played around with all of them at one point, increasing the oil concentration. And to me, the Triumph of Bacchus made the most sense in creating an Extrait. The other ones, no. I don't see ever creating another Extrait for any other one. When you get Fall of Phaeton, you know, some notes are going to pop more. Some notes are just going to be beast mode in a lower concentration, just based on the ingredients and the notes. TOB, it's smooth and balanced, but when I played with it, it just got better and better and better and better. And to have the opportunity to improve on something that's already so well received and loved, of course I took that one. But
that's fair.
No, I don't. It's expensive for me to do this. I know the TOB Extrait is going to sell. It's already selling. So I'm definitely, that's why I did what I did. Will there be, like I said, will there be a Triumph of Bacchus Sport or Triumph of Bacchus Noir? No. Fresh. There won't ever be another one that the Extrait is just a different concentration for that elevated experience. So there won't be another Triumph of Bacchus flanker or whatever you want to call it.
This was just a special circumstance.
Yeah, and I don't even know how long I'm going to keep it around. This was just something that I wanted to do special.
Like he said, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I did not want to change one thing about the notes or the scent profile.
Well, Christian, I appreciate you bearing with me through this technical difficulty. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out, even though this echo's got to be miserable. It's driving me crazy.
I don't experience that until the end here.
You had the best experience of everyone came to the echo.
Yeah, I guess I didn't notice it until just the last question.
Well, Christian, thank you so much for being here. Guys, I will have links pinned down below. Sorry, guys. I may hold this down. We'll have to begin it another time, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
the next go round.
I hope that next month, when I have release Fall of Phaeton and we get the restock of Nemean Lion and the Extrait, we can do something again. Because those really need a lot more time to discuss those ones.
Well,
And then that gives you a month to figure out your
portion.
It gives you a month
30
to figure
minutes
out
prior.
your- What's that?
I said maybe we'll check technical issues a little sooner next time, just to be sure.
Yeah, we'll figure that out ahead of time.
So thank you again, my friend. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. And hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right, thank you, Ross. Always
Have
a
a good
pleasure.
one, guys.
Everybody else, thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all again soon. Ciao.